Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Crane Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're going to review some of the reasons why people find it so hard to apply velocity banking. Now, I know there are some of you I've talked to who say that they've watched many of the velocity banking videos, not on this channel, but just on the internet, because as far as I'm aware, it's been on YouTube for at least since 2017, right? So it's not this completely new concept, although for some of you, it may be new, right? And the problem with why it's so hard for some of you to apply it is there's few reasons. One of them is that we don't appreciate things that are free. So, for example, all the content on YouTube is free, all the content in my channel is free, and I know for a lot of people, if you don't pay attention, right? That's totally one reason. And it's kind of like if I ever download a movie on a illegal website, and I'm not saying that I do, but if I did that, I tend to not watch it as much as if I just paid in a movie theater, right? And there's another reason for that because the movie theater has my entire attention. I can't get distracted. But one of the main reasons that I don't want to ever really download movies uh to my computer and watch them and get them for free is because I know I'll not pay attention. Well, definitely one of the reasons, but I'll go into other reasons as well. So here's something that a really big reason so that prevented me from actually applying it in my life is because when I first learned it back in 2017, and some of you have told me this too, was definitely looking for guidance from other people to determine if what this is a valid strategy or not, right? Um, and it took me a long time to feel comfortable with the strategy, but the only reason that I was so obsessed with it is because I paid for a program and therefore I paid attention and I was flat broke. So if I'm going to pay for it, I'm either going to find out why that program is, velocity banking is bunk, or I'm going to apply it and find out, hey, this is actually going to help me in my situation. But every time I went to somebody else to tell me, hey, like here's this cool strategy to pay off your mortgage really quickly, or here's this cool strategy to pay off your debts really quickly, they would just automatically cut me off and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, right? And so it took me, had they taken the time to just kind of review the strategy with me, then I would have been more open to saying, hey, the strategy is bunk. But the fact that people were just like cutting me off made me kind of ignore their opinion that if the strategy was valid or not. So definitely number one, looking to other people for validation. And so even if some of you have watched the videos on YouTube about what the strategies and know exactly what to do. In fact, the strategy is so easy. You just put your entire paycheck into a line of credit and then take out your expenses and that's it, right? So easy. You don't need me. But I know that if you don't pay, you don't pay attention, right? So something to consider. Number two, another thing that I heard from one of you is that you're very uncomfortable having a near zero balance in the checking account. So this was something that got to me too. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm putting all my money into a line of credit. How am I ever going to get it? It's like, oh wait, I can just take out money from the line of credit if I have an available balance. But because of how society trains us to always have something in our checking and savings, and there's a valid reasons why you would have savings, but for me, I just don't have savings, right? And even some of the training that I'll refer to you to will actually tell you to have like 6 months of savings or 3 to 6 months of savings before you apply velocity banking. But I figured, like, if I have enough money in the line of credit, why do I need that? Again, I'm not giving direct personal advice or financial advice to any of you. I'm just giving you my opinion. But I heard like, oh, I'm uncomfortable having the near zero balance in the checking account. And then I showed my checking account during that Zoom call where it was near zero. So I practice what I preach, right? Not saying you have to do it, but that's saying I'm totally if see here's the thing. I'm at a point where if my checking account is in near zero and I have debt, I'm gonna think something's weird, something's wrong because all my potential cash or cash flow isn't being used to wipe out high interest debt, right? And that's where I want my money rather than it being in a 0.001 savings account doing nothing. Okay. The next one is what I call being Davish. So I don't know if y'all watch the Dave Ramsey show, but I love Dave Ramsey. I think he's the GOAT. Like it's very rare to see a 60 plus year old person kill it on YouTube like he's doing, but you could tell that he's a very smart dude, right? And so, when he talks about no debt and that's his philosophy, even though I use debt and I use a HELOC, and Dave goes on like anti-HELOC rants, like I still watch Dave. Dave's a great guy. And one of the things that happens is that, even though he preaches the exact same thing on his show every single day, like you'll never ever hear him say, well, it's okay to get debt, except for one situation, which is like getting a mortgage, right? But almost in pretty much except that situation, he'll say the exact same thing over and over and over and over again for many, many, many years. And then callers call in and tell him, well, can I use a HELOC, or can I use some sort, use a credit card, get the points? And then you know what Dave is going to say? He's going to say no, right? That's not the plan. And so some of you, I'm hearing you talk and then about how you're doing velocity banking. And when I hear that you're not putting your entire paycheck into one line of credit and using it as an operating account, or try to consolidate your debts and free up some cash flow based on some certain criteria, that's what I call being davish with regards to velocity banking. You're not really applying the strategy, and then you're wondering why you're not getting any results, right? So that's really the main reasons that I found that people really find it hard to apply it, is they think that. So number one, you're looking to other people for validation of what you learned, and I talk about leadership a lot, and that you have to be a leader and consider other people's opinions, but not rely too much on it and go your own direction and path. Number two, again, it's kind of training, doing what society has, doing the opposite of what society has trained us to do. So if we're at a near zero balance, it's not that we're ashamed. It's like, that's actually what I want, because I want my money to work for me and pay off the debt as quickly as possible. So even though I have a 20 or 30% interest credit card, no big deal, because I'm going to pay minimum amount of interest. It's just as long as I'm working that line of doing the velocity banking strategy and working the line of credit, right? And number three is just being davish about the strategy. Whatever strategy you're doing, actually do it, and not just kind of half do it. Half doing things is the reason why most people fail to accomplish their goals, because they're afraid to go all in, right? And here's the thing: you don't have to go all in the beginning, but dip your feet in the water. Make sure it's not there's no sharks or anything like that, and then deep dive in once you dipped your feet in the water. So if you're afraid to do velocity banking on your mortgage, just do it with some of your small debts. See how they disappear pretty quickly. Free your cash flow, and then you could apply it to higher, more at a more larger scale, and so higher and higher debt amounts. Okay. So this is Korean Atlanta Mentorship. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you're interested in joining our group, go ahead and click the Google form link down below. And or you could email us by finding out our email address in the About section of the YouTube channel, and we'll go from there. All right. Have a great day, everybody, and we will speak next time.